I just want to drink a couple of sips of Coke. What's wrong? The moment the voice fell, the girl in front of me suddenly grabbed the water cup on the table and smashed it hard on the ground. The water cup broke into pieces, and the glass shards splashed on the back of my hand. The moment the stinging feeling came, I was a little dazed, and the scene before death kept repeating in my mind. That day was my 50th birthday. My daughter, who has always been busy with work, suddenly called me and asked me to wait for her at a certain hotel. I thought my daughter wanted to give me a surprise. For this reason, I dressed up for an afternoon before happily going to the appointment. As a result, when I opened the door of the box, I saw my daughter and Shinji sitting together. The two of them were arm in arm, as if they were real mother and daughter. This scene deeply hurt my heart. After all, how much I hate Shinji. My daughter knows better than anyone else. Jangji, who was peeling shrimp for his daughter, was also smiling at them as if the years were peaceful. It was not until I appeared that the smiles on their faces froze instantly. My daughter stood up and came to me with a smile, ignoring my increasingly ugly face, and spoke to me. "Mom, I set up this game today just to make you turn hostility into friendship. Mother Shin raised me for 2 years. You should thank her. Don't be stingy. It's so good to have 2 mothers to love me. Just apologize to Mother Shin." My daughter kept talking, and her words revealed a fact. They have been in contact behind my back. My daughter forgot the harm Shinji had done to her and forgot how incompetent Jangji was as a father. She only remembered the fake smiles in those fragmented pictures. For this reason, she thought I was not generous and even hoped that I would apologize to Shinji. This is really ridiculous. My daughter asked me to apologize to the 2 people I hate the most in my life, and I was so angry that I had a heart attack. As I fell to the ground in a hurry, my daughter showed her impatience. She looked down at me and said, "Mom, you haven't had a heart attack for many years. I know you did it on purpose, pretending to be sick to gain sympathy. Do you have to be so stingy?" For this reason, I missed the best golden rescue period and died unwillingly. Before closing my eyes, I always remember my daughter's cold eyes, as well as Shinji and Jangji, who were sitting aside watching the show. At that time, I thought to myself, if God can give me another chance to start over, I don't want this piece of meat that fell from my body. My thoughts receded like a tide, and I blinked hard, looking at the girl in front of me. This daughter I have loved for most of my life. I have devoted all my efforts to her, but she is a real ungrateful person. Now the stinging pain on the back of my hand reminds me that God really gave me a chance to start over. This time, I won't care whether she lives or dies. I looked down at the back of my hand again. The wound was bleeding and looked a little hideous. It really hurts. Jangwon didn't notice anything unusual about me. She just vented her emotions and then sat on the sofa angrily, stiffening her neck and not looking at me. In her last life, this scene happened when she was in her 3rd year of high school. Jangwon was raised by Shinji for 2 years. In those 2 years, the lively and lovely little girl completely changed. Not only was she covered with bruises, but she also had a very serious stomach disease. No matter whether she ate more or less, she would vomit very strongly. In severe cases, she would go into shock and stay in the hospital for several months. Under repeated torture, her temper began to become a little moody, and she would get angry at any time.
I feel very guilty about this.
I always felt that it was because I didn't work hard enough and couldn't find my daughter earlier that she suffered so much. So after taking her away, I tried my best to nourish her body, just hoping that she would feel less pain. Her stomach disease was so serious that she would most likely go to the hospital if she drank a sip of Coke. She used to be very obedient and knew that her body couldn't stand it, so she wouldn't touch these carbonated drinks. But this time, she suddenly got angry and quarreled with me. I didn't understand why. In my previous life, I didn't know until I died from the conversation between my daughter and Shinji. During this time, they had met several times. Shinji said some bad things about me in front of her, including her stomach disease, saying that I deliberately exaggerated just to keep my daughter from leaving me. My daughter believed her words and quarreled with me when she came back. I thought she was angry because she was not feeling well. I coaxed her again and again, enduring the pain, but now I find that I am like a jumping clown and my sincerity is only exchanged for garbage. For this reason, I stood there in silence for a long time. My daughter finally realized that something was wrong and slowly turned to look at me. When her eyes fell on the back of my hand, a flash of guilt crossed her eyes. Just when she wanted to get up and walk towards me, she suddenly remembered something and looked away again. She muttered, "Mom, I think you are too controlling. I don't like you like this. It's annoying. Why can't you be like other mothers and not always control me? Shouldn't I have my own freedom, Mom? I'm almost disliking you." Hearing this, all kinds of emotions surged in my heart and finally turned into a smear. Don't like me? Then you like Shinji. This is the first time I took the initiative to mention Shinji in front of her. In the past, thinking about the harm Shinji had done to her, I was afraid that she would have a psychological shadow, so I didn't dare to mention it at all. Even her irresponsible father, I didn't mention. If I could just pretend that these two people didn't exist, it wouldn't matter if they were dead or heir. At least it shouldn't affect my and my daughter's lives. That's enough. But who could have thought that she not only had no shadow but also quickly forgot those injuries and thought they were good people. She even wanted me to forgive them after listening to my words. My daughter, perhaps out of guilt, stood up in a flash. She strode to me, her eyes full of sparks. "Mom, what do you mean? I don't understand. After so many years, why can't you let go of that little thing? You talk about her and Dad all day long. Is it interesting? If you have to say that, then what's wrong with me liking Mother Shin? She is so gentle, beautiful, and generous. I just want her to be my mother. What's wrong?" At the end, my daughter almost roared, constantly venting all the suppressed emotions in her heart. "Okay then, let her be your mother." I nodded without thinking. It was not until my daughter's surprised eyes came that I turned around, picked up the book she had placed on the sofa, and threw it directly into her arms. "Since you think Mother Shin is good, you can be her daughter in the future. Blood relations are important, but sometimes if you give birth to an ungrateful person, then this blood relationship will only seem more disgusting. It is also possible that there is something wrong with her genes. After all, Jiangji is not a good person. If I had not been blind and did not know the dirty things between him and his childhood sweetheart in advance, I would not have been deceived by him and chosen to marry him. If the note of rebirth could be earlier, preferably before meeting Jiangji, I would never repeat the same mistake again. Unfortunately, there is no if in the world." Listening to what I said, Jangwon stood there for a long time and finally realized that I was not joking. During adolescence, self-esteem is always more important than the sky. So when she heard me say this, even though her eyes were red, she still spoke directly and said something that she thought would make me sad. "Okay then, I don't want you anymore. I'll go find Mother Shin. She will love me." She actually said Shinji would love her. I couldn't help laughing. After all, no one knows better than me how much Shinji hates Jangwon. This child, with my and Jiangji's blood flowing in her body, once made her crazy and almost threw her to death in her cradle. This is also one of the important reasons why I hate Shinji so much. Not to mention love. If killing were not illegal, Shinji would have killed her long ago. And now she is coaxing her with every word just to use this piece of flesh I gave birth to hurt my heart. I have told her all these past events, but she can't see it, and she still thinks that others are sincere and that I am not good. I smiled and shook my head, thinking that she is really stupid. Then I walked forward and opened the door of the apartment. Go find your favorite parents. We won't see each other anymore. It has come to this point." Jangwon hugged the school bag tightly in her arms. Her eyes were red. She raised her hand and wiped her. Her tears flowed fiercely, then she left without looking back. She turned her back to me and left. "Only one sentence. I can live happily without you," I said. "Okay, I'll wait and see. Let me see what kind of life she will live when she returns to Shinji." At night, I had a very long dream. In the dream, there was the scene of my first meeting with Jiangji. At that time, I had just graduated from college, and with courage, I submitted my resume to Jiangji. As a result, I actually received an offer. I thought I was outstanding at work, but I didn't expect Jiangji didn't even look at those, but only noticed the photo on the resume. My face is 70% similar to that of his childhood sweetheart, whom he loved but couldn't get. So, he treated me as a substitute and kept me by his side. I didn't understand why. I just thought he was really gentle, and then I fell into it little by little and finally couldn't extricate myself. We got married and had a child. I thought I was the happiest person in the world until Shinji returned to China. All the happiness was like bubbles, completely shattered. That day, she walked in front of me and stared at my face for a long time. Finally, she burst out laughing. Kabai is so cute. If you can't marry me, you marry a high-end imitation. These words sounded like thunder in the plain. It was also from that time that I knew that Shinji and Jiangji had known each other since childhood. The two had very similar temperaments, and it was easy for them to quarrel when they were together. The most serious time was when Shinji ran away from the country crying, and Jiangji had a car accident when he chased her. He lay in bed for more than half a year, and Shinji didn't come back to see him. Jiangji's mother was very angry and was only full of disgust for this daughter-in-law she had once identified. The elders of the Jiang family disagreed, and Shinji was unwilling to come back. So, Jiangji also had a grudge in his heart because of this matter. He was probably really heartbroken at that time. Then, he met me. It was just that the person he liked since childhood appeared in front of him again, and all the hatred and resentment in the past disappeared without a trace in an instant. Between me and Shinji, he will always favor her, even our daughter. Because of Shinji's words, I am so lonely abroad. I really want to raise a child to play, but I don't want to give birth to one myself. Jiangji secretly sent the child abroad to accompany her without my knowledge. During that time, I collapsed countless times and felt like I was going crazy. But I was afraid that when I really couldn't hold on, my daughter would really fall into hell. I had to live and maintain this marriage. Otherwise, Shinji might create some kind of accident and let my daughter lose her life. By then, Jiangji and I would no longer be married, and without the child as a bond, they could better continue their relationship. I can't let this happen, so I gave up all my pride, and after begging in vain, I made this matter known to the whole network. It was not until 2 years later that Shinji finally got tired of playing. With the help of online public opinion, she sent the child back. I thought I finally embraced my whole world again, but I found that Jiangwan's coldness was exactly like her father's. She has never been my whole world. Fortunately, now that I have lived again, everything is still in time. Jiangwan, who returned to the Jiang family, naturally became the little princess adored by the stars. In the previous life, because of the strong public opinion, the Jiang family kept exerting pressure, and Jiangji and I divorced. He was not able to marry Shinji. Even the two of them dared not appear in the same picture. Otherwise, it would be another bloody storm condemned by the whole nation. The pressure of public opinion was too great. But it is different now. Jiangwan, my ungrateful daughter, posted a photo of her and Sher on social media to break the public opinion. For this reason, many people began to blame me, speculating that I concealed some important events. After all, if Jiangwan, the person involved, had really suffered human abuse, how could she be as close to the other party as mother and daughter? Yes, how could it be? I can't figure it out, and I don't care now because what she did from beginning to end, the only one who can really hurt her is herself. I don't need to take care of Jiangwan anymore, so I sold the school district house I bought for her in the shortest time. School district houses are easy to sell, and the price is high. With the money in hand, I can buy a bigger and better house in another better location. I changed my job. I submitted my resume to a large company. The job is operations, which I like, and I also met a colleague, Sister Wang, who has similar interests. Sister Wang has a carefree personality and is a rare good person. When I first started working, she talked to me for a long time because her situation is very similar to mine. The only difference is that her daughter has always firmly chosen her instead of the irresponsible father. To be honest, I envy and am very happy for Sister Wang. After all, it is a piece of flesh that fell from my body. I have devoted all my efforts and love to it, but in the end, it became a sharp knife stabbing myself. It's not just pain but also chilling and piercing. Knowing that I live alone, Sister Wang warmly invited me to visit her home on weekends. My newly bought house is very close to her home, and it only takes 10 minutes to walk there. For this reason, I did not refuse, and I brought some gifts when I went to the door, intending to give them to Sister Wang and her daughter. The moment the door opened, I looked at the girl in front of me a little dazed. "Is it you?" I couldn't help but exclaim. The girl in front of me had a confused look in her eyes, but she still smiled at me politely. "Are you Aun?" "Sure, Mom has mentioned you to me. Come in quickly, it's hot outside." The little girl took my arm. My auntie affectionately pulled me into the living room. As she walked, she said, "Have you seen me?" I lowered my eyes and looked at the girl beside me in my memory. Before my death in my previous life, in addition to my ungrateful daughter, there was also the kind-hearted girl who rushed into the box at the end, called me for emergency services at the first time, and kept comforting me. Although many years have passed, the girl in front of me looks much more immature than she did then, but I still recognized her at first sight. I shook my head gently at her. "Auntie just thinks you look familiar, but I must have never seen you before." While talking, Sister Wang also came over, looked at the gift in my hand, and glared at me with some anger. "I told you not to bring gifts. It's so expensive." Sister Wang felt sorry for me being alone now. She always took extra care of me at work and often brought me various small gifts, but she never allowed me to buy them for her. My heart softened again. I am extremely grateful to Sister Wang and to this little girl who showed me kindness in my previous life. The meal was very lively and harmonious. The little girl's name is Wang Chu. She is 17 years old this year and is also in her 3rd year of high school. She has a gentle and likable personality. Even without the ties of the previous life, it is hard for me not to like such a lovely girl. So Sister Wang and I made an appointment to accompany Chu to the amusement park on the weekend. On the weekend, the 3 of us came to the amusement park early. I was bolder when I was young and liked to play some exciting rides, but Sister Wang is afraid of heights, so I accompanied Wang Chu when she was riding the roller coaster. The extreme feeling of weightlessness came, and we screamed together. The depression in our hearts seemed to have completely dissipated. So when I received Xiangjibi's call again, I was still a bit dazed. Nan's stomach disease has recurred, and this time it's very serious. She is in so much pain on the hospital bed that she wants to eat the green vegetable and lean meat porridge you made. She also said that every time she eats it, her stomach pain will be much better. Please make some and send it over. When Zhang Ji was talking, there was indeed the sound of Zhang and crying on the other end of the phone. It seemed that the situation was indeed very serious. In the past, I would feel so distressed if my daughter shed a little tear. Now, perhaps because I am too disappointed, I don't feel much about her crying. The so-called green vegetable and lean meat porridge was also a recipe that I successfully obtained after traveling to several cities, looking for health masters one after another, spending a lot of time and countless money. It is also very cumbersome to make, and I can't leave it alone for a moment. Every time I make it, my eyes will turn red. But at that time, I just wanted to make Zhang feel less pain, and I was willing to pay as much as I could. It hurts if she hadn't eaten anything indiscriminately. I had taken good care of her health over the past few years, and this serious situation shouldn't have happened again. Now that it has happened, she deserves it, so I refused without thinking. "I'm not a nanny. If you want to eat, you can ask someone to make it. I'm busy here." Zhang Ji was also a little annoyed when he heard me. What could be more important than my daughter's health? As I was talking, Chu, who had just gone to buy ice cream, trotted to my side and handed me one of them. "Sure, I bought you the matcha flavor." She spoke neither loudly nor softly, but just loud enough for the person on the other end of the phone to hear clearly. "Sharani, who is with you, Mom? Why don't you come to see me?" Zhangji and Jangon spoke at the same time, with obvious questioning in their voices. I snapped. "Who is around me?" Does it matter to you? And you, Jangon, I am not your mother. Now, if you want to eat, go find your current mother. I don't have time to serve you. After that, I hung up the phone without thinking and then went to play another amusement project with Cho Chu. On such a beautiful day, how can I get angry because of someone who is not worthy? Maybe my attitude that day made Jangwon unhappy, so she also planned to make me unhappy. Jangon is not an adult, and I still have the obligation to take care of her now, so we did not block and delete her. Therefore, a few days later, she suddenly sent me a group of photos. In the photos, Shinji, wearing a beautiful white wedding dress, was leaning on Jangji with a happy face. Mother Shin and Father Shin are really a perfect match. If it weren't for your jealousy for so many years, manipulating public opinion, they should have been married long ago. But it doesn't matter. As your daughter, I should take some responsibility for the mistakes you made. After reading the words she sent, I knew it was more than that. Soon, Sister Wine called me via video, looking anxious, and asked me to quickly watch a video on the internet. I clicked on the address she gave me. In the video, Jangon and Shinji sat together, and Jangji stood behind them, just like a family of three. Jangwon spoke first. Hello everyone. I am the daughter of, and Shunny, that is Jangon. You know, for that incident, I need to apologize to everyone on behalf of my mother, because it is not the case. This video is live, and the barrage is updated in real time. At this moment, viewers are swiping question marks on the screen, and the number of people in the live broadcast room is increasing. Shinji, who is silent on the side, squeezed out a smile with difficulty at the corner of her mouth, pretending to be gentle as always. There are many things that are different from what everyone thinks. It's just that Sister N had some mental problems back then, and I didn't want to irritate her anymore, so I acquiesced. But over the years, it doesn't matter if I've been wronged a little, but Sister Nanny abused Nanan because of me, and I really can't stand it. After that, the barrage rolled again. I glanced at it, and most people's words were fierce. They all asked to quickly explain the truth. Janji didn't speak, but raised his hand and patted Shan's shoulder gently. The latter nodded, and then continued. In fact, back then, my mother had some mental problems and would hurt people, so my father sent me abroad and temporarily gave me to Shin's mother to take care of. But I didn't expect that my mother would turn black and white, and I didn't know the truth until recently. I think I need to give justice to my father and Shin's mother. Looking at what Jangon said in the video, even though I had vowed not to be sad because of her, my heart still hurt. Fabricating that I was sick and saying that I abused the child, trying to reverse public opinion, this is simply too ridiculous. In the video, at this moment, Shinji lowered her head slightly, as if looking at something. At the same time, I received a text message from an unknown number. When the flesh and blood you gave birth to, after going through countless hardships, becomes a sharp knife stabbing yourself, how does it feel? One sentence, and let me know who sent this text message. Shinji in the video also raised her head at this moment, smiling at the camera with a sarcasm that only I could understand. She knew that at this moment, I must have started this live broadcast a little bit. Also, such Jangon's heart-piercing words. If I had not experienced my previous life, I might still be heartbroken at this moment. But I have already died once. Pain and hate are not more important than my future life. Because of Jangon's personal testimony, including Jang Ji, I did take out the diagnosis of severe depression that I suffered from during extreme collapse in those 2 years. The barrage began to reverse, and they all began to blame me. I did not intend to continue watching this live broadcast. After all, they were all throwing dirty water, nothing new. So, after turning off the live broadcast, I sent a message to Sister W to reassure her. In those 2 years, I had already tried everything to find Jangon. People's potential can always be forced out in desperate situations. So that in the next 10 years, I have developed the habit of keeping all kinds of evidence. That night, I clicked on the long-sealed folder on the computer and sent out all the information I had prepared. Early in the morning, then I turned off my phone and went to sleep. When I woke up the next morning, the public opinion on the internet had turned wildly again, as I expected. Before Jangon was sent abroad, Jiangji and Shinji had secretly met many times behind my back. The two behaved intimately and even kissed. At that time, I was still immersed in the pain of being betrayed. Considering the future of my daughter and me, I found a private detective in advance and took many photos of them. I thought that if the day of divorce really came, these photos would be beneficial to me, and I had to ensure the interests of my daughter. It's a pity that Jangwon was sent away before these photos could be used. Every week, a strange number sent a message detailing what they had done to my daughter in the past week. Whether it was locking her in a kennel, whipping her with a whip, or not giving her food, all kinds of behaviors were repeated to me word for word. Sometimes there were even a few photos, although the whole face was not shown. The injured parts of the body were all taken very clearly. It was because of this that I suffered from severe depression in those 2 years and almost died, including the divorce later. I also recorded the injuries on my daughter's body with photos and videos and compared them with every message in those 2 years. I found the same scars and took pictures as evidence. In addition, there was a hospital examination of the injuries, which was a more authoritative proof than mine. In response to Shinji's claim that I abused Jangwon, I added various certificates issued by the hospital for Jangwon's physical condition over the years to that document. Including these years, in order to keep her healthy, I have traveled to countless cities, found countless people, and got a lot of health-preserving prescriptions. The cities I have been to, the roads I have walked, and even the people I have asked for help all became my evidence. I have clearer evidence than what they say, and each item has photos and videos to prove it. The timeline is clear, and the evidence is clear. Sometimes medicine will lean to both sides, but in the face of ironclad evidence, they can't say anything else. Some people also asked, since you are so good to your daughter, why does she still help Shinji and her father, Jiangji? In response, I only replied with one sentence. Didn't Jiangji also suffer from Shinji's injuries and lie in the hospital for a year? But when she came back, he was like a pug again, and he didn't think about it. People have heredity, and it seems reasonable that his daughter follows him. This message was replied to in less than half an hour, and the number of likes was about to break the 1,000,000 mark. For this reason, Jangwon called me, and every word she said was full of blame. Mom, what do you want? You posted this online, letting Nyson blame me. Shenk, mother and dad, do you want to kill us? Even if you really hate them, I am also a piece of your flesh. After all, how can you be so cruel to me? Look, she is blackmailing me morally. I replied slowly and calmly. You can stab me in the heart accurately. Why can't I do the same? Let me say one more thing. From the moment you left, the mother-daughter relationship between you and me has completely ended. From now on, you are the daughter of Shinji and Jiangji, and you have nothing to do with me. After that, Jangwon was silent for a long time and finally spoke with gritted teeth. Okay. Since you want to sever the mother-daughter relationship with me, from now on, I will no longer call you mother. Shin's mother is very good. Good. She and dad have taken wedding photos. With my matchmaking, they have obtained a marriage certificate. In the future, we will be a happy family of 3, and you just hold your hatred and live alone for the rest of your life. After that, she hung up the phone directly. I was silent for a long time, not because I was sad about her words, but because I thought this girl was really stupid and pitiful. After my previous life, I just want to live a good life now, and it is impossible for me to live with hatred. On the contrary, she was the one who brought Xiangji and Shinji together, which meant that her value to Shinji would be completely gone. How could she pretend to be popular when she had to face a child she hated in court every day? So her retribution had just arrived. Perhaps it was to prove to me that she was living a good life. In the following time, Jangwon opened a new account dedicated to making videos of a happy family of 3. Although the videos were ridiculed by countless media, she still uploaded them regularly every day for 2 months. Some media even began to speculate whether Jangwon wanted to go the black and red road, but I didn't care about these. She and I had not seen each other since we agreed to sever our mother-daughter relationship that day until a few days before Sister Wang's birthday. On the weekend, Wang Chuchu asked me to go shopping in the mall, saying that she wanted to choose a piece of clothing for Sister Wang as a birthday gift. I naturally agreed to accompany her. Then I saw Jangwon and Shinji in front of a store. In the online video, the two people were as close as mother and daughter, as if they were really related by blood. But until I saw it with my own eyes, Jangwon held a very beautiful dress in her hand with a flattering smile on her face and asked Shinji if it looked good. Shinji nodded perfunctorily and quickly lowered her head to look at her phone. The smile on Jangwon's face faded a lot. She stood there in silence for a long time, then turned around and picked another dress. As she walked, she said, "Mom, this dress suits you very well. Come and try it." "Why are you pulling me?" Shinji suddenly spoke up. She was always gentle, but she suddenly screamed, which scared the people around her. But I didn't expect that she would reveal her true nature so soon. After all, in the previous life, Jangwon would bring him and her to me for at least half a year. I stood there quietly watching Shinji lower her head and reach out to touch her belly. "Jangwon, you don't know that I'm pregnant now, and I can't stand any pulling. If there is any problem with the baby in my belly, you're the only one to blame." So she is pregnant. This has never happened in the previous life. Perhaps it is the butterfly effect. Many things have changed, and now Shinji has her own child. No wonder she doesn't want to pretend anymore. Jangwon's face is ugly. After all, she is an adolescent and has a bit of a temper, with a resentful look in her eyes. Actually speaks directly from her heart. "Mother Shin, since you got pregnant, you are no longer as gentle to me as before. Is it because you think I am not your biological child? So, all the kindness you have shown me before was fake." In response, Shinji's face froze for a moment and soon recovered as before, reaching out and patting her shoulder gently. "How is it possible? I just had a child with great difficulty, and I was too nervous." After that, she took the clothes in Jangwon's hand and walked directly to the fitting room. "You have good taste in choosing clothes. I'll go try it on." After pulling the curtain, Jangwon's straight back slightly bent down. After all, she was sensitive and should have noticed something was wrong. I didn't want to look at it anymore. I held Choo-Choo's hand and planned to leave directly, but I didn't expect that I would meet her eyes by chance. "Mom, why are you here, and who is she?" The moment Jangwon saw me, she strode towards me with a little red in the corners of her eyes. It seemed that when she wanted to say something, she had already noticed Choo-Choo beside me. Choo-Choo was well-behaved and greeted me first. "Hello, I am Wang Choo-Choo, the daughter of a colleague in the company." Facing her self-introduction, Jangwon nodded slightly, and after introducing herself, she looked at me again. "Mom, are you here to laugh at me today?" She bit her lip, looking a little aggrieved, and her eyes looking at me were also a little angry. I looked at her without knowing why, and I felt a little funny. "Jangwon, have you forgotten what we agreed on before? Since you've made your choice, don't call me Mom anymore. And since I have my own things to do when I come to the mall today, it has nothing to do with you." After that, I patted Choo-Choo's hand gently and then said in a gentle tone, "Let's go to the store in front to look at clothes and don't waste time here." Choo-Choo naturally knew about the past between Jangwon and me, so she held my hand tightly and even smiled gently. "Okay, let's go together." After that, neither of us looked at Jangwon again and left. A long time passed. After that, occasionally I heard that the relationship between Seongwon and Shinji was no longer the same as before. More and more quarrels made Jangwon unwilling to go home, but I didn't ask too much because the time for the college entrance examination had come. "Choo-Choo, don't be nervous about the exam. No matter what the result is, your mother will always support you." Outside the examination room, Sister Wang kept muttering, obviously more nervous than Choo-Choo. Choo-Choo smiled gently after listening carefully. She agreed one by one, and then her eyes fell on my face. I smiled at her. I only said, "Choo-Choo, come on." She nodded, then waved to us again, and then strode into the examination room. I pulled Sister Wang and turned around, trying to find a cool place to wait. As a result, when I turned around, I saw Jangwon, who was also preparing to enter the examination room. She was standing not far away at this moment, staring. I looked at her motionlessly with a little grievance, but there seemed to be no one around to send her to the exam because of public opinion during this period. Her grandparents chose to go abroad at this time, and only Zhang Ai and Shinji were in China. Logically speaking, the college entrance examination is a big day, and they should be present for both emotional and rational reasons. Obviously, the family conflict is serious. I was silent for a while, not worried but just feeling emotional. This is the path she chose herself. Sister Wang gently pulled my arm, seeming a little worried. After all, she knew what kind of hurtful things my ungrateful daughter had done to me. I shook my head at her and walked straight ahead, not stopping at all when I passed by her. But Zhang grabbed my hand and said, "Mom, no matter what, I am also a piece of flesh that fell from your body. Are you really so heartless that you want to sever the mother-daughter relationship with me?" I stopped and looked at her sideways. "Who is your mother? You are not clear-headed in broad daylight. Don't you recognize your own mother?" After saying that, I shook her hand off and left directly. She had chosen the road herself, and she had to finish it by herself. Even if she cried in the next few days, Sister Wang and I would send Wang Chuchu to the exam at the same time, and we would meet Zhang Wan almost every time. Maybe it was because the words I said were too harsh. When we met for the first time again, she would choose to look away silently, as if we were strangers and didn't know each other. Sister Wang said, "After all, she is your own child. How can you be so cruel?" I couldn't tell Sister Wang that I was reborn, and I couldn't tell her because I was so angry about this that I had a heart attack. My daughter thought I was acting, which eventually led to my death, so I could only nod and say seriously, "She is an adult. She can bear the consequences of her actions." Sister Wang didn't say anything more about this until the last day. The students who finished the last exam filed out of the examination room. Choo-Choo ran out of the examination room with a smile, waved to us from a distance, and then strode to us and made an okay gesture. I felt that I did very well in the exam, so it should be stable. Choo-Choo has good grades and usually performs steadily, so there is actually no big worry. As for Zhang, she also did well in the college entrance examination in her previous life and was admitted to a key university. I just don't know if there will be another butterfly effect this time. However, knowing it has nothing to do with me, I only know that Sister Wang and I have made an appointment that after Choo-Choo finishes the exam, the three of us will go on a spontaneous trip. The plane tickets have been bought, and we are heading to the airport in order to have fun. I even temporarily closed all the commonly used contact methods during the trip. Choo-Choo got her results, and her score was as expected, and she was able to get into a key university. She was very happy, and Sister Wang was also very happy. She kept talking to me for most of the night. I said that she was more fortunate than me. She was silent for a while, then reached out and hugged me, saying that I was also a family member, and we were all equally good. Later, after playing for nearly 2 months, we chose to set off to go home. As soon as I came back, I learned that several major events had happened in the Zhang family. The first thing was that Shinji had a miscarriage and would never get pregnant again. The second thing was that she had a dispute with Zhang Wan, and then they both rolled down the stairs, which led to the miscarriage. So it was very appropriate to describe the Zhang family as a chaotic situation. At this time, the two of them completely tore their faces apart and cursed each other, one sentence more unpleasant than the other. The filth that was hidden in the darkness before was exposed when the emotions were most excited. So the day I came back, I saw Zhang Wan squatting at the door. I don't know how she found my new home. I just felt annoyed for no reason. My life is very happy now. If she could stop appearing in front of me, I would be happier. So I looked at Zhang Wan squatting in the corner without saying a word. She looked up. Her eyes were full of tears. She was aggrieved like a child and stretched out her hand for a hug. I didn't move. My eyes were slightly cold. "This is my home. You are in the wrong place." Her outstretched hand suddenly stopped in midair, and I went around her, directly opened the door with the key, and prepared to go in. Suddenly, Zhang Wan stood up behind me, hurriedly grabbed my arm with a little pleading in her tone. "Mom, I know I was wrong." She just said this, and she was already crying uncontrollably. She sniffed and continued, I thought they were really good to me. A few years ago, Shinji came to me privately and told me how good she was to me. My memory of the past may be a little vague, or I may be obsessed. I don't know why I believed her words. I even thought you were not good, Mom. But I understand now. Shinji did it on purpose. She didn't like you, and she didn't like me. She said so much in front of me, just to sow discord. After she had her own child, she gradually exposed her true nature, and even wanted to drive me away. I couldn't bear it anymore, so I argued with her and we both rolled down the stairs. Now she has no child, and will never have another child in the future. She hates me now, and Dad is partial to her. I really can't do anything, Mom. I know I was wrong. Please don't leave me, okay? At the end, Jangwon had already collapsed and cried. If I were still the same person as before, I would definitely hug her in my arms out of pain. But I have died once. If everything was calm, if Shinji hadn't taken off her disguise mask first, my daughter would still be aggressive to me and make me apologize to the two people I hate most in my life. So I can't forgive her. I pushed her hand away. I entered the house and then turned to look at her and said only the last sentence. Janwon, everyone is responsible for their own choices. Understand? After that day, she never came to see me again. I was also relieved, but after all, the matter between us has been on the hot search several times, so the movements of the Jang family are always heard inadvertently. For example, Jangon took the initiative to apologize in the hospital, even in the hospital corridor. For this reason, Shinji had to forgive her, but her face in the video was very ugly. Later, Shinji left the hospital, and the three of them went home together. But perhaps because of her old age and miscarriage, her body had been tossed so much that her face was much uglier and not as beautiful as before. Jangji began to go on business trips frequently and was photographed several times with beautiful female models by his side. The Jang family began to be in chaos again. After a while, Jangwon suddenly posted a long video online, which showed the daily life of the Jang family. She knelt on the ground to wipe the floor, and Shinji stepped on her hand, laughing hideously. For example, Shinji held a long whip in her hand and said over and over again that she had killed her child and hoped that she would pay with her life. There were dozens of videos like this, big and small. In some of the videos, Sher almost killed Jangwon, so we were once again on the hot search, especially Shinji. Although I had hinted that she was not a good person in the videos I posted before, no one took the photo. Now it is completely exposed.
But this is not the end.
Shinji has a bad reputation, is no longer beautiful as before, and even has more and more temper. Jangji has already started to bring beauties to various occasions. I caught a cheating couple again. Several people were fighting. Jangon was standing not far away. She even smiled at the camera, then rushed into the crowd and quickly retreated. Then the crowd screamed. Shinji was holding a knife with blood on her hands. As for Shinji, she was standing in front of her. Blood was flowing from his lower abdomen. Jangon didn't want to escape. Maybe she was playing badly, or maybe she felt bored. She walked directly to Shinji, took her hand, and ran to the rooftop.
No one knew what they said.
We only know that in the end, they both fell off the rooftop. In the end, this family of three was gone. When I suddenly learned the news, my heart was not calm enough. I was silent for a long time, but all the choices were made by her. It was not until then that I knew they had been in contact late. It was not until a long time later that I received a letter. There was only one sentence in the letter. I didn't believe you, and you lost your life once because of this. It was my fault, so I will return all 3 lives, including mine, to you. The signature time was the day after Jangon came to see me. I think she might have been reborn. However, I didn't feel guilty about this letter, nor did I cry bitterly. Because of it, instead, I was very calm. I read it calmly, and threw it away calmly after all. Belated regret is meaningless.